A psychic predicted that you're going to meet your next spouse in Australia.
I met someone really cool, and it'll be awesome. And then, hey, if we do get married in like 10 years, we'll play this clip from this.
I saw a story where when you were recording the self-titled Sublime in Austin, was it in Austin? Yeah, like you guys fucked this with the studio, wasn't there like a fire or something?
There was a lot of antics that went on.
I need to ask about Coachella.
After that Saturday night performance, my entire life changed.
Do you remember the first moment when you were like, oh God, this is just like Dad?
Having those little moments of it being similar to a lost loved one. I think the real first time is when I answered the phone to my auntie Kelly, and she like hung up like crying because for a second she thought it was, she had that phantom ghost thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Eric and I used to sneak out of our parents' houses to go down to the Lions Club down the street and watch Trey play in his band, The Falling Idols. And Sublime loved The Falling Idols so much that we stole one of their songs and put it on Robin the Hood, The Falling Idols song, the instrumental surf song.
One of their songs?
Yep. We stole it. We took it from them.
Doesn't it feature like pro skaters and stuff in?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Music doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It's about just having fun.
And continue to break the law.
Continue to break the
Push the envelope.
It would be remiss not to talk about the dark times of Sublime and how you navigated that.
Poorly.
Sublime are entering a new era, and it's one that carries real weight. It's been 2 years since their reunion shows at Coachella when Jakob Nowell stepped on stage alongside Eric Wilson and Gaugh. Now the band are releasing their first new album in 30 years as Sublime. And from the moment it was announced, it hasn't felt like a comeback. It feels like a cultural moment catching up with itself. Because the last time Sublime released a record, it reshaped alternative music, pulled ska punk into the mainstream, and left a cultural imprint that's still being felt 3 decades later. Their self-titled album landed in 1996, just 2 months after Bradley Nowell's tragic and untimely death. What followed was something rare, a record shaped by loss that went on to define a generation. It sold millions of copies, broke globally, and embedded songs like What I Got and Santeria into the fabric of popular culture. For decades, that album has stood as both a peak and a full stop. So this new record, Until the Sun Explodes, arrives with a clear understanding of that history. It's not trying to replace what came before. It can't. It's been framed as an epilogue, a continuation shaped by inheritance, distance, and perspective. The new material pulls from the band's original DNA of ska, punk, and reggae, while being written from a completely different vantage point. So today, we're diving into the new music, how these songs came together, what Jakob Nowell is carrying into this next chapter, and how you honor a legacy without trying to replace it. This is Sublime's Jakob Nowell and Gaugh on the record. Welcome.
That was beautiful, Poppy. Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
What a clap. So
ChatGPT's getting better. No,
hey, I'm a serious journalist. I have to take video
that was rad. That was human hands right there.
Thank you. I feel like Australia has been waiting 3 decades almost for this moment. And I know that it's been on your bucket list as well. How are you enjoying Australia? I have to ask from the bat, have you been able to be a tourist at all?
Oh yeah. No, we went and saw the Sea Life Aquarium when we landed in Melbourne first day, so that was a lot of fun. The kids are off at the Taronga Zoo today. We're looking forward to. Some of the guys are going to go see a rugby match this afternoon. I get to go do a dinner cruise with my daughter, so we're just diving in, looking to do the Botanical Gardens and Opera House.
Beautiful.
And just checking it all out. We really like to dive in, taste the culture, feel the people and everything. So, it's just, you got to experience it while you're there.
So good.
Yeah, it's the best part of traveling to a new city. Every city has its own vibe, so I've been out just charging around. I just like to walk to different little districts and locations. Last night was like Chinatown and Thai Town, and I was just like, this is so cool.
Chinatown's near where I live. I'm like right in that.
Oh, cool.
It's beautiful.
So many good restaurants.
Yeah, so good. I also read an interview where you said that a psychic predicted that you're going to meet your next spouse in Australia. How's that going?
It was foretold by the oracle. No, a psychic didn't really say that, but doesn't it sound like something a psychic would say?
You just said that?
I say it often. I've been saying it for a while. Like, a psychic once told me that you'll meet your wife in Australia, and I think it might have happened already, but I don't want to jinx it, so I won't say
in
anything.
Australia?
Yeah, in Melbourne.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of hit it off, and that happens from time to time. So I'm like nervous. I don't even want to like jinx it. But
no, don't jinx it.
I met someone really cool, and it'll be awesome. And And then, hey, if we do get married in like 10 years, we'll play this clip from this. And so, but now it's so vague that no one will know unless it happens. So.
I love the idea of a psychic not telling you, but you just going, I understand the law of attraction. I'm just going to say that it's written anyway. Yeah.
Well, now I'm afraid. Now I'm kind of like, well, maybe I don't want to meet my wife anymore. I'm kind of too busy.
A long drive.
Yeah. No, now I realize it was like the worst because I'm like, wait, if I have this rad connection, I want to hang out and spend more time. I'm like, I kind of like live in a different part of the whole world, and you can't like ask someone to drop everything and move, and long distance is tough, and what do you know? But anyway, all
what
those
have
questions.
You done? Like, you did this to yourself.
I manifested this, so this is
you asked for this problem.
But at the end of the day, love will prevail, man. We're out here playing music for a lot of people who you can just feel the love, man. We only have one show so far. Is in Melbourne. Melbourne? How do people say it locally there?
Yeah. Your lover's hometown is Melbourne.
Yeah. Now it's very specific. And their name is no. It was awesome. Like the fans there, like you said earlier, it's like they've been waiting for so long, and they were just so grateful to hear the song. So awesome.
I read that you said that stepping into the band was like edging towards a cliff, and I wanted to know what led to that decision. You know, like I'm not talking about doing the charity show for HR,
right.
Bad Brains. I'm talking about stepping into the decision of being the frontman of Sublime.
Oh, well, it just felt right. You know, I mean, the first thing we wanted to do was all jam together, and like once I felt how fun it is, just like any band getting together, or like bands looking for like a fill-in member or whatever, after you can tell within the first time you all jam together, and then you have a blast, you're like, oh, of course I want to keep doing this, and they're gonna give us money and tickets to Australia. Like, of course I will keep doing this. So it just kept feeling right and feeling fun, and so we just haven't stopped.
But from your end, what did it feel like for you? Was there a moment where it felt this just makes sense now?
Absolutely. There was like definitely a click. I mean, Eric and I had attempted to address that before, and it was not really the vibe, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the want, the desire was there, you know. It's like we all, you know, missed playing these songs together. And Eric and I had done other ventures together as well, but it never really filled that hole, you know. That spot was missing and had been. And then once, you know, we got together with Jake, it really just like clicked. It's kind of like, you know, that first kiss with someone, you know, it's like, is she a deep tongue kisser? Is her tongue going to move fast? You know, it's like, totally. Is she going to freak me out? You know, it's like that, you know.
Vibes,
yeah, but then it was like, you know, like you said, you know, after the first set of nerves wore off, it was like, boom, it fits like a glove.
Yeah, it really does.
What is it about Jake and how he fits into the band and how he fits into the songwriting process that makes you feel like this is working?
You know, part of it's DNA, part of it's just, you know, his love of the music too. I mean, he was raised on it. He knows what's going on, and he just dove into it. He saw that you know, we wrote songs from, you know, our own perspective, you know, a sidewalk perspective. This is what's going on around us. This is what's happening in real time, you know. And some of the songs he was writing about, you know, as we're on the road, he's writing his experiences, daily life, you know, and it was just like bringing things in. This you know, it's happening now right here in front of us, live and direct, and so that's just it. All pulls in together that way.
And was that what Bradley was like to work with?
Oh yeah. He would take, you know, we would talk story, you know, and you know, it'd be like a bunch of us hanging around drinking beers, smoking and joking, and you know, somebody would tell a story, and then that would turn into like cool. You know, pissing some girl's drink through a bike into the pool. That wasn't all us. That was our friends, you know. But it wasn't just Brad doing all this stuff. He wasn't that that maniacal.
Let it be clear. Yeah.
But I'll take credit for driving down the sidewalk like a drunken possessed fool.
That was you.
But yeah, no, we would just like take bits and pieces of all of our lives, all of our friends' lives, and things that were happening at that time. Like for Date Rape, that was a new subject. Brad was off at UC Santa Cruz, and girls were getting dosed with Rohypnol, the date rape drug, and so it was a big current event. And so he wrote that song. It was like, wow, this sucks. Chicks shouldn't be afraid to drink their beers or a cocktail or something like that, and end up with some slag at home, or at his place, not knowing it. And so he wrote that song to protest it in a way and to kind of bring it out to light. Like, yeah, you're if you do that.
And do you know how much more meaningful it is to have a man talk about that as well? Because women can talk about it till the cows come home, but I feel like it holds more weight within the male gender when an actual male calls it out.
At that era, like so much is happening. Nirvana has that song Polly as well that kind of like has that subject matter. And any kind of a thing I always try to talk about is my grandpa, late grandfather, rest in peace, Papa Jim, but he said that one day he told my dad to write songs of social significance. So he was like exactly what Bud's saying, just that just really means just what's happening around us, you know what I mean? And trying to reflect that back. And, it's like a never ending process. You'll never get it perfect. But I think just being honest and living honestly through your work like that kind of stuff translates to the stage for sure.
And what was your relationship like before? I know that you've called Bud your uncle and that Eric and Bud are your uncles.
Oh, it's Hawaiian style, man. Yeah, I grew up in for a couple years in Hawaii, and a lot of my family's from there as well, before we moved back to San Diego. And it was just, like anybody who was just like close friends with mom and dad, like those are your aunties and your uncles. And, when you get close with your friends, those are your brothers. And we all have that sort of familial relationship, meaning that this is our lives, This is what we do. This is not a casual hangout. Real things happen. We walk through it, and that gets explored in the music too, for real.
And does that mean it felt more comfortable when you started actually writing together as Sublime? Because you had that kind of, I guess, short form of knowing this is family. Yeah.
When we all got in the studio, it was the funnest parts to me were obviously the music is number one, but then we'd go like walk to go get food or something. We'd all kick it and eat tacos and just like shoot the shit and just, have a good time. It's the best.
I need to ask about Coachella because
it
would like...
We want to play it again, dude. Come on, Paul, book us again, bro. Yeah. It's going to be twice as sick now. You should see our stage, man. We got a big blow-up dog.
Sick.
With a hole in the bottom.
Yeah.
Is it a Dalmatian? Is it Louie or is it...
Well, we got Louie, and then we have the, I can't think of the dog's name. The super
Toby.
dog. Yeah, Toby. There we go.
Toby,
cute.
the Basenji.
Because it's... All eyes were on you, obviously. From a fan perspective, there's a lot of pressure. From a you perspective, there's a lot of pressure. Take me to the feeling straight after you walked off stage. What was the biggest feeling you felt?
Like relief, exhilaration for sure. Can I smoke in here? Or is that probably no go?
No, can we? We can't.
Oh, okay, that's okay. I wouldn't dream of it. That was a test. No, the first thing I do when I get off stage is definitely smoke a cigarette because probably the opposite of what my lungs need, but. So I definitely lit a cigarette and I walked and I was just sort of like mesmerized because that was the biggest show I'd played up until that point. And I think too, regardless of the size of the audience, because after a certain number, like, you can't even see past the first few rows. So it might as well be this, but it was just so much was built up into it. And there was a lot of pressure on myself to do it. And I think under pressure is how you grow. And nowadays it wouldn't be like that. Like now I would just be exhilarated to play. Like there's different pressures of life that happen no matter what that are constantly changing, but no, I don't question our ability as a unit or my ability as a front man, unless it's areas where I'm just trying to improve. So the Coachella was a totally surreal experience, and after that Saturday night performance my entire life changed.
Wow.
Under pressure, that's how diamonds are formed.
Bingo. Yeah,
and then for
that's
you,
how it's made.
Bud, like you've gone through the first, obviously, the founding iteration of Sublime, and then to see this new formation of the band and playing Coachella, like what the biggest festival in the world. How did that feel on your end?
Well, Eric and I, we thrive off of the audience. We get their feedback, and so the bigger the crowd, the better. For us, I mean, from that perspective, it's an exhilaration that you just can't experience elsewhere. But I was nervous for Jake. I was like, wow, how's he gonna deal with these pressures, because it's scary, if you get up there and you're like, oh wow, it's not just like all my friends out there. It's like there's television cameras and stuff too.
The cameras was the big one. If there's no cameras, I'm out of a chill. I'm like, you gotta be
that
fucking kidding me. If I whip it, it's gonna
play, rewind, repeat. It's
Did you look at the big screen, or were you like, no?
Yeah, no, I did, and I knew it was playing back at home and stuff. People seem to really like it on the whole. Everyone was like, "Oh, you guys did a great job."
After the first song, though, it was just like, "Oh yes, this is awesome."
Totally.
And it was, and then I just watched him dive into the deep end, and it was like, just like a true pro. But he's got that. I noticed that from the first time I saw him perform. He was playing this little club in Reno, and his band had just broke up, so all he had was a drummer, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really have anything, to play, but we're just." I booked a show, so we're gonna wing it, and so he's like, he just drew the crowd into his party, It was like I'm Jakob Nowell, and this is going to be fun,
Cool,
and he was like, hey, this song's for that guy in the back. You there with the hat? No, the one with the glasses right next to him. Yeah, what's your name? And the guy was like, Stuart. Or
yeah,
like
that's exactly right. You remember that.
And he's like, yeah, all right, everybody turn around and give Stuart a hand. And you just like hear everybody like turn around and be like, yeah, Stewie.
I thrive with those small crowds. I love just making people laugh and having fun. Funny enough, Mike P played that show too.
Yeah, he did.
Isn't that crazy?
He's my drum tech.
It's like these weird, like meant to be little moments and stuff. Like so cool.
Yeah, we were friends on Instagram before because I had a punk rock band that I played with my ex-wife Nicole, and another rest in peace story. We were friends there, and I saw him, and I was like, oh yeah, I know you, and so that's when we met, like for real, first time there at Jacob's show there, and then when we were getting ready to do the HR show, I didn't have my electronic drums. I wasn't playing that, so I had to go get some percussion instruments for my trap kit, a little vibra-slap, and I figured I'd just play them by hand or with sticks or whatever, and fill in. And so I went down to Guitar Center in Reno, and Mike P was working the drum counter, and he said, well, you're getting ready to go on tour now, and if you ever need a drum tech, I was like, all right, go tell your boss you quit. Here's Joe's number. Talk to Joe. Here's Zinger's number. Talk to Kevin.
And he's still here with us now.
Really? It's like, yeah.
And Mike's the best, man. Yeah, he's one of my buddies. We jam. It's awesome.
And you brought in your friend too. You've got your best friend is literally.
Yeah. He's like a brother to me, Zano. We've written together for so long, and he's sort of been like raised in a lot of ways by our manager Zinger, who's also sort of like another uncle, pseudo father figure to me. Put on shows for the boys back in the day. And so it kind of just made sense that he and I got so close. And then for me, like I'm just trying, I like to really focus on the vocal side of things. It's just where I'm best suited in my opinion, and like just front man interacting with the audience kind of vibe. So certain songs that are like demanding on guitar, I just was like, man, I want someone who like grew up with the music and understands it really well and is a part of our crew and our friends. And Zano was already my guitar tech for a while. I'm like, dude, just come up and start shredding these solos. So we're starting to kind of throw him in the mix, and it's sort of just become like a really rad jam up there, I always joked, me and Zane are like the new guys, and then like everyone else on stage is like the most classic core, like fucking, Dougie and Trey like grew up right down the street from everyone and like have been in and out of projects with all you guys since back in the day. Like,
Eric and I used to sneak out of our parents' houses to go down to the Lions Club down the street and watch Trey play in his band, The Falling Idols. And Sublime loved The Falling Idols so much that we stole one of their songs and put it on Robin the Hood, The Falling Idols song, the instrumental
Stole
surf
one
song.
of their songs?
We stole it. We took it from them, but we told them we were going to take it.
Okay. Yeah. Did they get paid?
Yeah, they got
Okay,
paid.
good. That's
Yeah.
fine then.
Yeah, it's what you do, man. Just like every band in the scene, it's like everyone's drawing from each other, and it like pushes everyone to grow. And I think that like is starting to happen again with local bands, especially in Southern California. And out here in Australia, you guys are such an awesome music scene, dude. I really like that band Tropical Fuckstorm.
You like Tropical Fuckstorm?
And
yes.
And of course, obviously Skaggs.
Okay, can we? I was going to delve into that later when we get to the record, but let's go there right now.
Yeah.
So, Skaggs, you've got a song called "Favorite Song."
Yeah.
Favorite songs. How did that come about? Them writing on your record? I heard there was like some kind of Malibu hang surf trip, maybe.
Yeah. So he came out. Benny from Skaggs came out to Malibu and just kicked it with us, and we became boys. And he was just so easy to work with. He came in the studio with me and John Joseph, our producer, and just dropped some verses. And then we ended up just writing a bunch of stuff, not even for any one band, just like in the moment, just having fun, like shit that just sitting there that could be used for something, 15 years from now. But he was just super easy to work with, and he's got like such a great vibe. And there's going to be one of his verses on Favorite Songs. And since coming out here, we've been partying with Skaggs. Him and Kelts, their bass player, like we went out in the town in Melbourne, where I met my future wife, of course.
Of course. Yeah. Can't wait to meet her.
And the way that I've seen like Australia have fun is unlike anywhere else in the world. Like y'all really got it down. You got fun dialed.
We do. There's a lot of restrictions in Australia in terms of where you can drink, how much you can drink, how long you can drink in the night, and so we go hard because we're trying to make up for lost time, basically.
Bingo. That's well said.
Yeah. But going back to you and Zaino and kind of growing up with the music of Sublime, did you feel like, did the limelight of Sublime touch you when you were growing up? Did you know that you were part of this huge legacy, or were you kind of protected from that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, all of the above, There were moments where it was very much colorized my life. And I think that'd be impossible not to, with just how big it has grown. But then there's other times people were like, what fucking band is that? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. Because you're never, you could be as big as the Beatles or Michael Jackson, and still there's going to be some people who just, you're like, I'm sorry, I have no idea.
I've been living under a rock, sorry.
Yeah, right, exactly. But so that's been part of my unique journey. Everyone's got their own, things to overcome and grow and accept and live with. And so over time, I've come to see the beauty in all of it. And it was not like it was ever like, this horrible thing in my life. But it was just, sometimes there'd be kids at school who'd be like, we fucking hate you, you're weird. And they come back and be like, oh, our parents told us that your dad was like in this band. Do you want to come hang out with us? And I'd be like, no, you losers, leave me alone. Yeah, I almost wanted to drop one. No, I won't do that. There was this kid though, who, it was super funny. Like we would always go to detention together because I was like one of the bad kids, right?
Naughty.
Yeah, I was a naughty boy, and I would go there, and he would always give me shit, right? And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, and then when we got to a high school. I remember the first day of high school, we had the same English class together. I'm like, oh, great, it's this guy. And he comes up to me, he's like, hey, dude, I just want to introduce myself. Really nice to meet you. So, like, someone told me, like, you might be related to, like, one of the dudes from Sublime. Well, that's just awesome, man. They're, like, my favorite band. I'm like, thanks, man. And I'm like, how does he not remember giving me shit? Like, he clearly does. And then I was just going to never talk to me. And he's like, by the way, do you smoke weed? And I was like, yeah. And we ended up kicking it and did become kind of buddies.
Oh my God.
I haven't seen him since school, but it was just one of those funny things that high school kid, you can't, it's just a good metaphor for like, no matter what it is, you can't take that shit too seriously. You know what I mean? Because humans are just humans. We all have similar motivations at the end of the day. So if anything, this has been just a beautiful blessing of my life. Yeah. Like getting to be part of something that is like legitimately cool. Like, having grown up with the music, and same thing with Zaino, we're both tripping out every day because this is like to us the coolest band that ever has existed. And I feel like I can say that with no ego because I joined later. So I'm like, look back at all these first albums and I'm like, dude, no one sounds like this. Who has a fucking, acoustic guitar song with like a DJ scratch and samples? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Who has a song that's like 808s and scratches and just a cool ass vocal line? Like I gush and get giddy about it that in ways that I didn't growing up because I took it for granted. So sorry, I was long-winded.
No, you should. And speaking of No One Sounds Like This, it blew my mind when I first heard you sing because
thank you, man.
You sound so much like your father. It's incredible.
It comes out sometimes. I hear it now too. Like
of course.
And I try to practice really hard and just get a lot of those tones correct and stuff. And yeah, thank you.
Do you remember the first moment when you were like, oh God, this is just like Dad?
Oh man, certain times I will just. It's like certain words. It's mostly when I'm not trying. You know what I mean? Because I think it's just a genetic, like your larynx kind of thing is like similar. So yeah, man, it definitely makes me proud in like a proud son kind of way. You know, it's just like, you know, Dad was so fucking cool, and beyond even if it was good or not, it's just like having those little moments of it being similar to a lost loved one. I think the real first time is when I answered the phone to my auntie Kelly, and she like hung up like crying because for a second she thought it was she had that phantom ghost thing. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then she called back smiling, like, and it was like this kind of beautiful thing. So I don't know. I guess it goes to show you that that's why we make art, man, because it goes beyond us and it touches more lives on our own, and it proves that death is the biggest illusion, you know.
And Until the Sun Explodes is such a beautiful tribute to that as
Thank
well. The life, and then of course I want to dive into that actually, of how that song came about, and also did you go on some kind of, I imagine you on some kind of pilgrimage, like
an ayahuasca trip.
to to your dad's old haunts
Frog
and stuff.
venom.
You know,
Yeah, Frog's licking toad.
yeah, like do you referenced bars and stuff, like did you?
Oh,
and
yeah,
of course
yeah, for
Bud
real,
would
dude.
Be able to help you dive into his old haunts and like obviously
Yeah.
all the music that you would have listened to together. Was there some kind of research pilgrimage?
It was these last 2 years being part of the band. I mean, just going out and touring, they'd be like, oh, here's a story that came up that, I haven't thought about that story in years, and it just comes up. We haven't played this song in like 25, crazy. And then I frequently, I think a lot of people have that experience when you just are thinking about someone and then you turn on the radio and it's like, how is this the moment? And then for our family, it's very much like that. Like you could be, because then a Sublime song will come on and it's like, sure, the odds are good that one comes on, but right now on this day when I'm feeling like this and thinking these thoughts, so just the strangest moments, you know. And
yeah, you're also fortunate enough too that your mom Troy, I mean, she you know encompassed your life with like old school reggae and ska and stuff like that. All the stuff that we were listening to back then, she had just like, I mean, that's like her rapport, you know, that's like her jam. So she's constantly doing stuff like that, DJing and places and doing stuff.
Kick-ass
like
DJ, yeah. It is shout out to my mom for sure, because without her, like I would not have my music taste. Like she connects on all levels with musical, and she has one of the best tastes.
Yeah.
I think it's so sick.
Eclectic. Yeah.
Do you hear a bit of Sublime in Jacob's Castle, Jake's other project? You do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
I wondered if you purposely held back from stepping into the band so that you could build your own identity musically with Jacob's Castle.
Oh yeah, I mean, this wouldn't have made sense for me to do this when I was 19. Like and in a lot of ways I wanted to prove that like I had the chops and I could do it just like anybody else, and tour the country for years, playing to 10 people and a sound guy for sometimes, and every now and again you go around town and you hype people up and you get 100 people in there and you're like, this is the greatest thing ever, you know? So I got to have those formative experiences just like the boys did. And then eventually we got noticed by big Mr. Brettman himself, and he gave me my first record deal and we became buddies. And then a couple years after that, it was like, all right, spread your wings and fly. And so we were like, thank you to the Epitaph boys, and continue working with Zinger and SRH and our own solo stuff. And then Sublime time happened, having fun with that, and then Atlantic took notice, and I was like, wow, Atlantic, that's a pretty rad deal on its own. So, and they've been nothing but like a joy to work with. Like they're awesome, dude. They flew us here on these rad tickets. They got us like I think it's called Spirit Airline, and they were just kidding.
Is Spirit really bad? Yeah.
Thank you, Atlanta.
I was like, wow, his bar is so low.
I made that joke last time. I don't think they liked it. I'm kidding. No, they hook us up with the sickest fucking accommodations, like rad. Spirit Airline first class, you get like a full-on cheeseburger. No, I'm kidding.
You get both sides of the bread.
You get both sides.
Yeah, but what a feather in the hat, though. I mean, it's like you know, being on the same label with bands like AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. You know, it's like iconic rock. You know, it's a really good feeling to be noticed and recognized like that.
And it helps with making the record too, because you've got a bit of marketing spend, you've got a team behind you. But how involved is Atlantic, or did the Atlantic deal come after the record was made?
After the record was made. We had done that, and then they were just like, all right, we'll take it.
We learned a few things along the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of the devil.
Yeah.
Hey, we want you guys to make a record that sounds like this band here.
Well, could you imagine?
Can you put a song on there that sounds like those guys?
Yeah.
Maybe you should hire those guys.
Art by committee, man. Ooh. Yeah, maybe you should just hire those guys. I think they're available.
I saw a story where when you were recording the self-titled Sublime in Austin, was it in Austin? Yeah, like you guys fucked this with the studio, didn't it? Wasn't there like a fire or something?
There was a lot of antics that went on.
We're a little more controlled chaos now, but I draw from that era. Those stories are like, those are our legends that we share in our,
The fire was truly an accident, though. Eric and I were, so the studio was an old golf club, and so it was like a golf country clubhouse, and there was like a spa sauna area, which was like the men's bathroom. And so Eric and I were in there doing a steam, and Eric takes his towel off after drying off and throws the towel, like whips it over this pony wall, it's like just like about that high, and on the other side there was like a sconce lamp, so the lamp was like on the side of the wall on the other side, and the towel just went right over it, so it got hot and caught on fire.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we borrowed the truck and dented the bumper. And
then didn't Louis the dog tear up the studio or something?
Yes, there was a studio turds. There was
Lou is an expressive dog.
yeah. There was some things that were chewed up. There was a poster that got defaced. It was like the Uncle Sam. U.S. Army. I want you for the U.S. Army, like the poster, the Army recruiting poster of the 70s or whatever. Maybe it was the 40s, anyways. But it was Willie, and someone name shall not be named draw a filled in his mustache, but only like right here.
Yep.
Right over the fucking.
I like how you said filled in his mustache, but only right here.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and so the studio owner came in, and he like literally did the same thing that Lou Dog did in the studio the day before. Took a shit. Yeah, we thought we were getting kicked out for sure. And then Miguel came over, and he's like, I can fix this. My dad's a TV repairman. He's got an awesome set of tools. He reached into his backpack and grabbed some whiteout, some Del Taco hot sauce, and a Sharpie, because Willie's mustache was a little red, a little gray, and a little black. And he filled it in. Yeah, Del Taco hot sauce. That was the key to making the red.
Willie, you seem like a mild. No, spicy.
Fluffed it out just perfect,
Oh my God.
See, this is what I'm talking about. These are the stories that I love, man. This is legendary.
So making Until the Sun Explodes, very different experience. Is that what I'm getting?
Well, as far as the chaos, we didn't burn anything down.
We didn't burn down John Joseph's studio. No dog turds in Harbor Master.
Yeah.
By us, anyways.
Yeah, by us, anyways.
Take me into the studio. What is what
Harbor
are the roles of everyone?
Yeah.
Are we all writing lyrics, or how does
No,
that work?
the way it usually, they definitely, there's contributions from everybody, and the way that this one worked is I took a lot of like jam ideas that we had, or like jumping off points from release stuff. And then me and John and Zano kind of came up with like, okay, here's some cool stuff to jam with. Bring in Bud and Eric, and then they're kind of coming up with, okay, these parts should go here. Let's do this outro. What if we add this part right here, some stops and sections? And then they go from like about a minute of material to like a full song. And then you just keep doing that as you keep going. There's one song called Trey's Song, which the reason we call that is because Trey had the idea and he brought it. We all did it. And then through me, like, just spitting out lyrics that are in the moment, people come in and will be like, oh, that's cool. That reminds me of this, or this is some other thing that, oh yeah, it's like when we were doing this thing. So that informs my decisions to like go forward and comment on, A, B, or C. And I would say it is a very like holistic experience where we're all doing our best role and making it happen. And as soon as you get Bud in there and you're hitting the drum, it's like, oh, now it sounds like Sublime. you kind of need that part. Like,
yeah, you're the anchor.
I mean, it's like we all participate. Like Eric was like, oh, you should slow that part down right there. This drum part you should go in halftime right there. So it was like not just the drummer saying the drums should go like this, or
that's what
Jake was saying the guitar part should go like this. Everybody has a voice in it, and we just trying to envision, you get 4 different people in a room together and you talk about a movie, they're all going to say something different about the same movie. And so that's kind of how That's how.
Very true.
Do you have a favorite song from the record? I mean, obviously you have the favorites because you've released these 2 incredible singles, Ensenada, and then of course the title track.
There's gonna be one coming up called "Can't Miss You."
Okay.
I really like that one, and I really like. Oh, sorry, the mic. I really like the writing in that one.
What's it about?
Experience in Japan, actually, which was after I joined Sublime. I actually went out to Japan with Jacob's Castle, opening up for Long Beach Ball Stars, which was just a cool, perfect, like, you know, keeping talk about keeping it all within the scene. You know, it just feels awesome to be a part of that. And so just some interesting experiences about love and the comments on it. You know, what else is there worth writing about besides the human heart and conflict with itself?
It's
I think
so
Faulkner
true.
said that. Right. Yeah, it sounds good.
It
sounds
very good.
Sounds profound.
Yeah.
Yeah, performing Ensenada was a lot of fun. I love playing that for the live stuff. But the title track, "Till the Sun Explodes," that was one of the last songs we actually wrote in the studio.
Ones, yeah.
And I mean, it's the way that it's come about. You know, we were doing this video. This is another just like, hey, we should do a video. All right, let me call a director. Okay, here's the director. When are we all going to get together? Well, we can't. Okay, well, let's shoot it in 48 hours. Right now, it's go time. And boom, then it happened. It was like, wow, you know, and so it's like the energy behind this song, how everybody's just like ready to move and make things happen. I can't wait to play that song live.
Doesn't it feature like pro skaters and stuff in?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And a bunch of kids, a bunch of like OC kids. Shout out to Eighth Ball and Card over there. He helped us find the spot and get the people together. And it's just a bunch of. I've gotten to know a bunch of young bands in Southern California who are just all so inspired by Sublime, and now creating music that sounds similar to it, and you know, utilizing certain drum patterns or maybe throwing in DJs into the mix with the instruments. And it was just so cool. So me and my buddy Zano through Sunburnt Records are just trying to like, okay, how do we get these kids stoked and playing more shows together and like, you know, building up the scene and stuff. It's like, well, hey kid, you want to be in a Sublime music video? Like, and then it's more just me, Bud, and Eric just chilling and like watching how like, wow, look at what has happened after 30 years, and it just keeps going, like whether it's happening or not. So I'm hoping this record will excite and stoke the flames of kids. Just go out there and realize that, you know, music doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It's about just having fun.
And continue to break the law.
Continue to break the
law.
law.
Oh, I mean, push the envelopes. Yes. Yeah, we did. We broke a few laws. We had a band play without a permit and a backyard party that wasn't supposed to really happen. The sheriff showed up there, and you got to speak with them.
That was true, man. Yeah.
So that bit at the start of the video
and so
is legit?
That wasn't staged. But get this, they would have just shut us down. But it turns out the guy was about like, must have been, you know, maybe in his later 30s, and he was like, so what's this for? I'm like, you know the band Sublime? He's like, it's like my favorite band. It's like, thank God we did this in Orange County. And he was like, all right, I'll tell you what, you guys keep going. I'll stay in my car here so no one else comes, but you're only going to get so long. So whatever you're going to shoot it now. And I was okay, thank you. Just chill for a second. We went in there and knocked it out. And it was just like, there we go.
Oh, see, Sublime just opens doors. Like, I
yeah,
feel
man, and
like
that's special. And just because 3 friends and then their extended group of buddies and family just wanted to have fun and do crazy shit and make music about their lives. So that can still happen for all the kids out there, and not just in Southern California. That's where it's starting with Skunk and SRH and Sunburnt, but also out here in Australia, wherever you might be watching this from. It doesn't matter. There could be no musicians around you, and just get some friends together and start making noise and breaking rules. Let's have some fun.
Go to a pawn shop, get yourself a guitar, and start writing.
That's all you need to do, man.
I need to ask about Sunburnt Records because the label's a year old now, right?
Yeah.
So, and I saw that you did a CD, but within the CD there was like an Easter egg to a playlist.
Yeah.
And I love the tapping into nostalgia, but why did you feel that you wanted to start with that tangible thing, you know, a CD?
Oh, I got to do more of those because I was inspired by the past, you know, just they would print tapes, you know, hand out tapes, go hawk tapes to people. Like I still have a cool old Sublime tape from one of the first ones they were passing around, and just people would just get so stoked. So times are definitely a little different. So I need something that, and I'm still trying to workshop the idea, but it's my belief that even with the modernity of file sharing and all this stuff, there has to still way that needs to exist where people can be excited to share physical media. So I was like, okay, we'll get a CD. It's got the playlist of all the bands that were ever on whatever Sunburnt tour we were throwing on. I think at the time it was like Strawberry Fuzz and Eighth Ball and Strange Case and Jacob's Castle and some of our other friends too. So it's okay, we'll make a CD with a bunch of unreleased demos no one's gonna hear anyways, right? And then there's like a QR code on it. You can scan that and it leads to a playlist if you still want to download it. So there's still some way people can be like passing this around, but to even go to the playlist, like you need the password or whatever. So it's
That's
like,
cool.
It's kind of forcing people into like, oh, you have to do some work and talk to some people and still needs to be workshopped a little bit, but I would love to continue doing that. And that's so cool you saw that. I appreciate it.
No, you're building a really interesting community with that, which I really
and
love.
it's still small and scrappy and fun, but like every time that there's some like local Carter, what's your guys' friends band they're put on that local fest every year in Orange County?
Split Roof?
Yeah, they're the one. They're the one. No,
Lagadelic.
What do they call their fest? It's like.
Are you talking?
Yeah, it's Lagadelic.
I forget Air Show, the surf contest.
The one that they wanted Sunburnt to sponsor, and me and Zane can't be there. Yeah, it's Lagadelic. And they just put on like 1,000-person local thing with vendors and their buddies. It's like, oh, this guy runs a taco stand. Why don't you come over here? And it's all these bands who. They sound like Sublime. I'm gonna say it. You know what I mean? Not like stealing innovatively though. You know what I mean? Because it's been enough time. It's been things going in trends and circles. So like, fucking you sponsor? Okay, we got you. Sunburnt booth, like Sunburnt rep, freaking Carter Ball, dude, and Carter McBall, and just have it be like supporting the arts and the kids and it happening, and then shouting them out, and then okay, who you guys think is the best in your crew? All right, come play Magusta Fest. Or come on the cruise, and then it just keeps building up, and then maybe they have something that blows up, and it kicks back to us, you know. And it's like it's all just like gives me goosebumps because that's like it goes beyond just one person or one band, and it just keeps growing. That's why Mike Watt always said, go start your own band.
I love this. There's a contribution factor to Sublime now. You know, I've read about the festival, and I know you're doing the cruise. It's just amazing, but. On that thing of, you know, nostalgia versus new age modern consumption, how are you feeling about the instant reactions that you now get from putting music out? Because obviously from when you were previously releasing music, your reactions would come from maybe going and doing radio interviews or seeing how much radio play you would get or going to the show. Now you release a song, you don't have to wait till go to the show to see the smiles on people's faces. It's in the comment sections, and I know you're on social media because I stalked you. So how do you feel about that instant interaction you're now getting?
It's wild. I mean, yeah, you know, we used to have to wait, and it was like we had the record when we did the self-titled album. I remember getting like the rough edits, and it was just like the final edit, and it was on CD. And I would put it in my CD player in my car. I had this K5 Blazer with a, you know, it was full convertible. I had a kicker stereo, you know, with subwoofers in it. And we would just like drive up and down like Main Street in Huntington, 2nd Street in Belmont Shores, and just bumping that stuff, you know, and just blasting. We wanted everybody to hear it. And it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, this is a new Sublime record. Oh, when's it going to come out? Oh, in like 6 months. You know, it's like, oh, they're going to forget by then, you know? It's like there was such a lag, and you know, it was like you could only get that gratification at a show, you know. And nowadays it's like, you know, you got Spotify. People are like downloading, they're subscribing to channels, they're commenting on socials and stuff, and it's instant, and it's just like, wow, this is, you know, it makes the hair on the back of your neck raise up, and you're just like, oh, I knew we were into something good.
Yeah.
I want to go back in time just a little bit because I feel like it would be remiss not to talk about the dark times of Sublime and how you navigated that, because when you think about it...
Poorly.
Tell me about that, because you had this massive success, but you're also, in 1996, but you're also navigating grief at the exact same time.
Yeah, it was horrible. I mean, you know, it's like we were on this magic carpet ride. You know, we just met the genie and we take off, and we're on this magic carpet ride. We're 25,000 feet above the world, and all of a sudden the carpet was just ripped out from underneath us, and now here we are free falling, you know, into oblivion. And you know, it's like I wish I had my older self to tell me, not to do things and to do things the right way. But, that's all a part of growing, like Jake says, under pressure. And so, unfortunately, I turned to drugs and alcohol to cope with it. And I suppressed and pushed all those things away. And all it did was make things uglier and meaner and darker and more horrible. And it came to a point to where the self-destruction was going to win. And, I had a breaking point. And, nowadays I get to be a good dad. I waited to raise my family, thankfully, until I was in more of a right mind and a better place. But, there for a while, a lot of people around me, parents included, didn't know if I was going to make it out of my depression. And, it's like I never really thought of myself as an addict. I like to play. I like to have a lot of fun with things, but I never really needed to need it. I could put it down. I would play with it a lot, maybe a lot more than other people thought I should. But it was like I could just stop it at any given moment. But it came to a point to where the depression was winning. And I just had to keep putting more and more substance into my body to forget that ugly feeling. And there's nothing worse than finding your friend dead next to you. There's nothing that'll ever change that, and that's something I get to live with for the rest of my life. I prefer to remember the better things around, my friend and the times that we had. And now I get to actually put those thoughts to bed instead of reliving them night after night after night. Because all the drugging and drinking did was just perpetuate the nightmare, and it amplified it. It makes you feel like you're suppressing it, but all you're doing is you're feeding it more fire, and you're just adding more pain to the equation. But now I'm sober, and Jake's been an inspiration to me in that hand as well. I'm like looking at him, and it's like, wow, he can really do it. Because I would get sober for a while, and then I would fall back into drinking. And it's like, well, at least I'm not doing smack anymore. I'm not fucking shoving a bunch of stuff up my nose. I still have to wake up and bring my kids to school, so but I can drink myself into an ulcer. I can drink myself into cirrhosis, and that's perfectly legal. But what a horrible way to go. And so, I've found that I'm much happier and a better person to be around when I'm not drinking. And but yeah, it was here we are. We're having some of the best success of our lives, and it was just like, you'd hear the song on the radio, and then I would get super mad and depressed. I would get angry, physically angry, and there for a while. I remember I was in rehab, and my counselor, Jamie, he said, I want you to write a letter. He's like, I want you to write a letter to Brad and tell him how you feel.
Oh, wow.
And so he's like, you write the letter, and I want you to read it to the group tomorrow. So I wrote this letter, and it was all full of cuss words and anger and hostility, right? Fuck you, man, you motherfucker, you fucking left me. Fuck you, you left your fucking kid. You're a fucking fuck, you fuck. And so I'm reading it, and everyone's like standing around like, yeah. It's like all these hardcore criminals, these guys are on parole, trying to get out of jail for, rape and murder and all this stuff, 14th drug conviction, and they're all cheering me on, and it's like I'm just feeling worse and worse as I read it.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like sitting back there, he's like, nah, man, I don't believe you, rewrite it, write it again. And
I don't believe you.
Yeah, he's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You rewrite it. And
you needed to get that
I thought this one guy was going to turn around and just blast him with all four. Just, oh, he fucking read his letter, man. And I was like, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's not how I feel. But thank you for letting me get that out.
Yeah, because you got to, man. It's part of it.
Yeah, and I came back and I rewrote the letter, and then the next day there was not one dry eye in the house. Like I said, these hardcore convicts are sitting there just like breaking down. I want to call my mom. I owe her an apology. You know, it was transformational for the whole group. But, you know, I spoke from love on this. You know, I had to get all of the ugliness out. You know, it's like when you drink too much, you got to purge before you feel better, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was eye-opening to me. That was like, okay, yeah, no, it's okay to feel your real feelings. It's actually better to feel your real feelings than to keep suppressing those feelings. And when you do that, you're just compounding the anger, hate, and animosity. So
thank you so much for sharing that. And I do believe that you had to go through the poisoning yourself because you couldn't deal with it.
Oh yeah,
in
it was
order to come
physically
to that
impossible.
healing. Yeah, yeah. You were so angry. So why wouldn't you make life harder for yourself?
Yeah.
Because you needed life to be hard because you felt terrible.
Yeah, there was so many times when it was like, why not me? How come I wasn't the one who was taken that night? You know, it should have been me, motherfucker. You know, it was cursing God and you know, all the powers that be.
But that's why this record is so important, and it's going to connect with so many fans because they're grieving too. They've been grieving too.
Oh yeah.
And to hear your voice and to see you guys together and to listen to this album is so fucking special. And it's just going to, I believe it's the healing that so many Sublime fans need.
It is sincerely my wish.
That's
Me too.
beautiful. I have more questions, but I feel really good about ending it there, and I want to
I
be
think that
respectful of your
was
time.
beautiful. Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you for fucking sharing,
Yeah.
dude. That was
Love you,
profound,
bro.
man. I love you too, man. I'm just happy we're fucking doing this, man.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? You know, like this is just we're gonna be doing it until the sun explodes. There we go.
Until the sun explodes.
100%.